Hello, my family. Welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Of course, today now August 28, 2017. We come to now as usual from studio number 8, based in Houston, Texas, and of course in the city of Houston and the environment. They go through a very serious adverse weather condition at this point, and so it is very much devastating what we are going through at this point. So basically the entire city is flooded, and of course the broadcast from yesterday, I mean, the whole neighborhood being flooded, and of course the water be don't recede now, and so we not foresee any danger towards flooding or possible evacuations. But people then they very close to we, because we they up the hill, then they down the hill. So the one way they down the hill, like just now they don't come with boats them, they don't evacuate them because water don't come now they hose and they don't able to come out. So they ask that when I keep in our prayers, of course, because now we studio day, now we get all the equipment, and so it will be a big loss. Even though that not go stop we from broadcasting, but it would just be a big loss to we if we lose, if we become we come under flooding. All right, and so now that they go on now the 4th largest city in United States, Houston, Texas, and so hopefully everything will be fine. But yes, so me from with them today now another segment with the bring come to now in our usual broadcast. Of course, as they make arrangements for able for expand on what they do now. So of course we get forget live correspondences from all over Sierra Leone. We get for the reports to we live, just like any other television network. Of course, I think say that one is very important, especially for some of us who are resident in the diaspora. I know saying a welcoming news that one day for we're able to forget people that way they report on current events now Sierra Leone as then they happen, and that means we're going to try for bring come to now at least 24/7 service, if not that, but as frequently as possible. And so today we get for continue for discuss the natural disaster, the corruption surrounding the 2017 Hajj, where we found that before perform, and of course some of the voter registration irregularities, the way they don't just uncover, after way they don't display some of the names of the people that would have been count or would have been registered for vote in the 2018 elections. And so we get for discuss all that one in day, and then of course when I know say we now so now frank talk, we can like for talk, we not hide anything, we talk about issues them as then they happen. So we like for talk frank and so we get for ask you for make you go sit tight as we continue for bring calm the rest of the program to Una, of course, directly from studio number 8, and of course keep us in your prayers, right? So stick around.
My name is Kabaka, the CEO of KMA Records, and I'd like to use this opportunity to send out our voice of condolence to all victims of the mudslide and flood disaster that occurred on the 14th August this year. We We also send out our sympathy to His Excellency Dr. Honest Bai Koroma and all citizens of Sierra Leone. It's a tragic moment. It's a sorrowful moment. Let us learn from it and make Sierra Leone a better place.
Look what are they wrong we are. Say you did, Lord, say you did, Lord. Salon need you. Where are you, Lord? Say you did, Lord. Families them to die. Where are you, Lord? Say you did, Lord. Salon they call on you, Papa.
Yeah. All that we have is gone. All that we have is gone.
Whoa.
Who that go answer where we call? Who that go answer where we call?
Yeah, they say example make a man with this disaster now we land. For try rebuild the city and that for be we plan. This problem Yahweh happen, who Simon go run for go. It's really hard for see more time man body now water the floats. Not treats, abandoned homeless people learn the thoughts. We say God is great and we all stand in quotes. Yeah, we all stand in quotes. R.I.P. to the fallen souls.
Say you did, Lord, say you did, Lord. Look what are they wrong we are. Say you did, Lord, say you did, Lord. Salon need you. We did look for you, Lord. Where are you, Lord? Families them to die. Lord, say you did, Lord. Salon they call on you, I count 1, 2, 3 body pass. Me don't tire for just the sick body parts. Family then just a cry with a broken heart. Make we forget about the past. Not to tempt this for point fingers. Not time for make we come together. We all for live as one. Be you mama, be you papa, even businessman. There was silence in the city before the day break, and the people started crying. Oh, Salon, Lord of mercy.
Oh Lord, where are you? Can they bow we inside? We lost plenty life them because the landslide. Don't know where we heading to, we on the blind side. I stressed bad and confused, don't know what to do. People then die, host them scatter. This don't be today, we don't know what's in the after. But all is not lost, we need for be patient, we need for be strong.
This thing they fool me much, I'm not able to talk self. The pain is still raw, not able to cry self. Salon, what we do? Make we ask ourselves. This is not question, so make we ask ourselves. From Ebola to flood, now the mudslide. Living with the puzzle, but no one for ask God why. It's really sad, cause lots of people then die. Yeah, 30 the people they cry.
Say you did, Lord, say you did, Lord. Look what are they wrong we are. Say you did, Lord, say you did, Lord. Salon need you. Where are you, Lord? Say you did, Lord. Families them to die. Where are you, Lord? Say you did, Lord. Salon they call on you, Papa.
You are my only father, Lord. You are my personal defender. See, I don't need you now more than ever. So Lord, we pray. Lord, we lift up our hands unto you. Hey, so many people crying. Lord, we lift up our hands unto you. Heal the land, Lord. Yeah.
There was silence in the city before the day break, and the people started crying. Oh, Salon, Lord of mercy.
It's paining me, really paining me. This bad incident still paining me. What I come and carry innocent souls them. Caterpillar the jig for friend host them. Let we unite, pray and put down all ego. From regents, people just die, take and go. Papa, we go suffer if you left we. When are you picking them, not forget
say
me.
You did, Lord, say you did, Lord. Look what are they wrong we are. Say you did, Lord, say you did, Lord. Salon need you. Where are you, Lord? Say you did, Lord. Families them to die. Where are you, Lord? Say you did, Lord.
R.I.P. to the fallen souls.
Yes, of course, me family them. That's not Kemi, of course, in a special tribute to all the fallen heroes of Sierra Leone, and of course to the survivors of the twin disaster that took place in Sierra Leone on August 14, 2017. Of course, Dana Kemi, or one of the musical artists, them, the future of plenty other musical artists in a salon, of course, including, you know, Rosie, and of course, some other one them way then use. Of course, a very nice song out there. One for say plenty, thank you to them. You know, our last broadcast, we'll broadcast a couple of days ago. We've been get this question where somebody put a comment, say, waiting then song I get for do for the one that we don't die, for the one that we don't go, we not the song will not go able for bring them come back. You know, I'll not be able to understand the premises of that person in question. The only thing I can say about that, either, you know, if you not been person way, be careful, be personally affected by the natural disaster, you been get fumble way the natural disaster be careful kill or be careful do something with. They join with all the other musical artists then for send with condolences then to you. And of course now we all get the berry, so we all for say condolences to each other, we all for sympathize with each other, you know. But we believe say then kind of songs here we don't come where disaster don't happen like this. When then songs here come out now a form of consolation. You know, it console we when you look at the songs, it become console, and secondly, it becomes history, wherein anytime when you look at the song, it remind you of that time. And I feel say Sierra Leoneans in particularly, we need such reminders because, you know, we can easily become complacent, we can easily become, you know, okay with things that way they happen to we. And then say you cannot continue to do the same thing and expect a change to happen. You get for change things the way you don't they do where they hold you back, where they bring catastrophe to you, and change to something else where if you say go able for make your progress. So then songs here we not they look at them as anything bad. We they look at them as good things because number one, it console we. And number two, it remind we of the catastrophe. So we're not going able for repeat the actions will lead to that catastrophe. And we all know say the actions will lead to that catastrophe is both on the side of the government and of course on the side of we the civilians, we the citizens of the country. Especially then one day they look at that hill, then they look at them mountains, then way they in a them place then they. And then they go further, then they go and build hosts inside the mountains, then they, without actually thinking that it been very precarious, it was very risky action wouldn't be taken, you know. Even if the Ministry of Lands and Country Planning then we sell space give you on the inside and they yourself get for think about your own, you know, personal life first before you really think about or make a decision as to whether you for construct a house there or not. But you know, it look like say will not be to pay attention to the thing and that is what we call complacency. Complacency, we are very much complacent, satisfied with the condition we we'll find ourselves inside. You know, and you know, I be look at a document where they read whether they talk about waiting they make some countries they continue for be rich. And wait to make some countries then they continue for then they continue for get poorer and poorer, right? I've been read about that. And one of the conditions they would then give as to wait to make poor countries then they continue for get poor. Now because of complacency and because we they always humble to God, we they say, you know, no matter what happen, we are so insistent on that. And we are so resilient on that as well. Now, all the advanced countries, the way they do well, when you go to the advanced countries, then they find out say, then they even obey God, pass through within the poor countries. But at the same time, they're not just obey God. I mean, now they find out say, then get some of the biggest churches, you know, like the place where we did, like the place where we studio in Houston. Houston now didn't get the largest church in the whole world. No, the church wouldn't get now way na Lakewood Church. When you know Pastor Joel Austin in where Victoria Austin and then get that church there. where Pastor Joel Austin in Papana, he left the church and in take over. That church they wouldn't get no church not in the world way big pastor. Now the biggest church in the world. And then when you talk about Islam, you know, they get mosques then all over the place. But with all of that, they're not just, you know, they above to God. They say, oh, let's wait no more. One day, God go help you. One day, God. If you're not able to put efforts into, you know, the actions, when you don't pray, you get for grab now and go faint. If you don't look for money, when you don't pray, you go faint the money. Then God go able to give you the money. But you know, the pray that you don't you expect God for can't give you the money. It can happen one time. You know, wherein if you are very lucky, you know, you supposed to go come a hand over bulk money give you, but you always get for them. So now the reason this way poor countries then will they continue to forget poor, because we get this belief here say God go do for we one day without us doing anything. We just the above. We get for the do things then. Right? And so I just be one for bring that to that we brother we begin for, because when we read the comments, it look like say it been so really vexed that wise them musical artists and they do songs then as tribute to the disaster, to the victims, to the survivors. If you say not the wrong thing, but really we feel say respectfully, we feel say not to the wrong thing, it's the right thing to do. All right. And so moving forward today, we get for talk about, you know, plenty things then. 3 issues we'll get for talk about mainly. One, we get for talk small about this natural disaster will take place in the country. And then of course, we get for talk about the corruption around the Hajj, the pilgrimage where with Sierra Leoneans that before do for go perform Hajj na Mecca, right? And then we also get for talk about the irregularities that they don't uncover in the National Electoral Commission, their actions, you know, the voter registration, what they do. So we're going to talk about them 3 things today. So coming back to this idea of the natural disaster, you know, like what we've been talking in our last broadcast, if you say, as Sierra Leoneans, we don't go far away from God. And you see, God not a jealous God. I mean, it no matter which religious faith where you belong to. You know, whether you're not Muslim, you're not Christian, or you worship any other, you know, kind of, or you get any other faith, as long as you believe in the Almighty God, God not jealous God, because God talks, if you ask Him for something genuinely, we're not to by hypocrite, not to kalo na real question or na real request you make to God, He go give you Him, and you don't need for perform particular actions then for me you do that, right? Just do and genuinely, like where they go to your papa, where they go beg him for something, where they go ask him for something, the way where you humble yourself to the Almighty God, ask him for something, he go give you him. But when you turn your back away from him, I like you see something that happen which you not even notice you. In fact, the more it make you become cocky, you become arrogant, and you know they listen. But then when it don't unleash the catastrophe on you, now that 10 days you did realize say God now a very powerful God. So Sierra Leoneans, you know, somebody they way being get for misunderstand we in our last broadcast as well. We will talk say we need for let the next government get at least Ministry of Religion now the country. Now that talk they will talk, that person they be understand and say we be the talk say we want for let the government force religion on people. No, that is completely not what we are saying. You get it wrongly. Now the opposite understanding you get. In fact, nobody know the force religion by anybody. But what you they try for talk, you see the people that all they elect into positions of authority, the one that way they in governance. Now then for set examples, now then for lead we. Now we don't appoint them for me and lead we, because we all as Sierra Leone not go able to lead we self. We have to show us elect or appoint some people then for me and lead we. So then when they lead we, then for lead we by example, then for set precedents, right? Just like what I've been cite example. I mean, if the president go give license to people them where they send which gun, where they worship idols, where they do all them bad things, that either not for work with somebody and hold in lock and not able to move forward, or like where a whole town want for progress, then all that turn down, you know, they go before. People, they know where they do bad things, then they don't think where they do not to for care go human being before, not to for care go the country go before, not to for care go anything forward. Their job is to make sure anything what they try for do for moving forward, then they all way back, then care go bien. Now then people then the president give license to for many, you know, they do their work. Then they call themselves pretentiously, they say they're herbalists, right? And so in as much as we are all Sierra Leoneans, but this is not the first time when we don't see a sitting president don't recognize that particular group of people in our country, because now Muslim Christians now we know, and you know say we Muslims and Christians will support each other in the country. We not one day get fed you know, per incident. They will not one day ambog nobody, no Muslim, no they don't go kill in company, no Christian, no they don't go kill in company. But when this juju business kind side, then I hand the whole thing they happen. And now waiting they happen is when they do this kind of things, it they accumulate into sins, and the sins them they accumulate so much that it begin to affect the country. Just like we begin the civil war in the country, and some of we they go praying at the central mosque in Kenema, and every Friday we'll go praying at the central mosque. The rebbe they be done more with so much that we feel so for swear them. So every Friday we'll go to the mosque. We before we pray, I mean after we done for pray, we don't listen to the kutuba and everything. The imam they lead we for let pray and swear the rebbe then for me the alaki more. Let God alaki them, let God make the alaki more and more. And incident prayer then they will be the pray. Instead of put on our forehead, they put on our ground. Because na swear we swear them. So we did this for a couple of times, but the more we pray in that form, now the more the rebbe they be the alaki. And when they be the alaki, what they do, not to other side in the care go the alaki, not to we then the brand come back, because the rebels were our brothers, they were our children, they were our uncles, they were Sierra Leoneans. So when you say let your brother halaki, where halaki, who say the care go the alaki, not to you the brand come back. So they begin for born with villages, then begin for born with us, then begin for cut with people and them, then the rebel fate don't warm. Pass how been there. So one day we don't go pray one Friday. Now one old pa, now hold the microphone. Now he talk say, he say what would they do now the wrong thing? He say because the rebel they hold this swear for me they alaki. It look like say they don't alaki now. And I make they don't begin to born with us, they don't begin to do all these bad things. He say so the best thing we can do is then rebel and they within a bush now we picking them. Now brother then, now sister then, now uncle then, now we now Sierra Leoneans. So what we can do, let us pray for them. Let God change their hearts. Let God make them change. Let them decide, say that they forget about this rebel war finally, and let them go for peace. Now we begin pray. We don't pray on Jumana. Instead of put that al-Fatiha na ground, now forehead we put and now begin pray for the rebel. So at the end of the day, we don't continue for prayer. In our past 30 days, now we already say 4 days and already for Sidona at peace table na Yamasukro na Cote d'Ivoire. Alright? So from that side, I be no say God they listen. When you ask God for something, they listen to you, it go do am. When we ask God for both things, we ask God for evil, he give you the evil. We ask God for good things, he give you the good things. So therefore, now the same thing they apply to then one day where the president give license to. Waiting that they do now for do bad things there. If you don't give license to them, that's what they are praying for, and that's what God is giving to them. Right? So we need for change with ways. Because you see, I am so fascinated by the prediction where the pastor be make before this disaster happen. That's a question where somebody else can ask. Somebody who watched with broadcast last week, he asked the question whether that prediction happened before or after the natural disaster. And the answer to that question is the prediction happened months before the natural disaster. And if you listen to the pastor, you say go naimot for say some he said they began trouble. He said there was trouble in Sierra Leone. He said but the trouble where they can happen, it get for big past that. He said and he see the mountain where they pull lava. He said, but the lava, not to lava or with fire. He said, na lava with water mixed with mud. He said, it run down at the streets of Sierra Leone or Freetown. He said, you see plenty of people that they die. He said, and some people that be covered with banana leaves. And all them things here with this pastor talk about, I see all part of the images that we come in. I see people that cover with banana leaves. Because you see, as journalists, this is what you do. Any information where you get, you take a step by step by step by step and analyze them. Where you say lava, not with fire, but with water and mud coming out from the mountain and going down. We'll check into that. That's what happened. The people dying on the streets of Freetown, we saw that. The people covered with mud, we saw that. People covered with banana leaves, we saw that. Right? But because of them saying we were not very close to God, we not pay attention to God. We did not pay attention to that. And when I say we, I am actually talking about the leadership. Because the one that way they in position of leadership, if they be focused, if they be close to God, that prediction they therefore don't take them seriously, and therefore not able for do something for able for either minimize the disaster or even for curtail and way not for don't happen. Because now then they lead we, and not in other way they go grapple, we go say no, another one. But then when they lead we, if they are not close to God, then of course you get for expect this kind of things to happen. So now make we what they broadcast now, so we know they mix no emotion with our broadcast. We they talk the truth, we they talk the fact. Some of them fact, and they will not say they go down well with some people. But in fact, that's the main reason why we are saying it. That's why we are saying it. We not back nobody. We just talk about the fact. So in fact, we are going to bring you that prediction again today. For let us see, I want to let you pay attention closely to waiting the prediction say. Stick around.
He said, the King of Glory. When the Holy Spirit was talking to me, you see, when we were worshiping today, God took me into various places. And I hear there was a problem in Sierra Leone. Some people died. But I'm seeing another problem coming, which should be bigger than what they had. I'm seeing a mountain. It's clacking as I'm talking. It's clacking, 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 clacking. Then a lava, like a lava. But not of fire, but of water mixed with mud. Mud and water mixed. Moving in the city, in the streets, in the villages, killing a lot of people. Sierra Leone. Before it happens, God reveals, but we can pray to stop it. There are things God may want us to leave them the way they are, because He is God. He knows what is happening. And He said, if you shall see these things happening in the last days, you will know my coming is near. Father, we pray for your hand over Sierra Leone. Protect that country from this disaster. For you have revealed before it has happened. Protect Sierra Leone against this tragedy coming. We pray for people of Sierra Leone. I'm seeing people in the streets dead. Others being found covered with banana leaves. But we're going to pray. God have mercy for this land. Protect people. I'm seeing a lot of people. This is going to come. Listen to my word very careful. There was a trouble. But I'm saying, the trouble I am seeing now, it is coming and it's going to happen in Sierra Leone. We pray for their lives. You're watching me, Sierra Leone, on TV right now. Don't fear. The Lord is with you.
All right, and so me family them you have seen exactly what we are talking about. So basically, what we are saying here is, if the people that we don't put before we in the country, if not people that we been they close to God, now therefore don't lead we for pay attention to this prediction, because this prediction be there on social media several months before the disaster happened. Some of we see them, and some of we talk about them to some of the leaders that we they talk to. They know themselves. We tell them, say, man, this thing I wanna not take care of. This thing where this man don't talk. If you look at in body language, you look at everything where they say this thing is very important. It is good for you guys to tell the president to summon a national day of prayer for Sierra Leone, but they don't pay attention. All right, we believe, say, when you ask God for anything, it go do am for you. It go do am. If you ask her honestly, Pastor B say you dey ask her with biasness. But if you ask her with honesty and sincerity, it will come up from your heart. We Muslim, they will call her niyat. When a Christian, they will call her faith. If they ask her that way, they trust me, you get them. So this could not serve to we as a very important lesson for Sierra Leone. This country was a very religious country dating far back. Before even the white people that came to Sierra Leone was a religious country already. Then when the white people then come with the Bible, we became even more religious. So wait, they don't deviate we. Why would they deviate from God? The problems where Sierra Leone get, trust me, not only God we need now. Because we get everything. No matter what we get, if we not get God now, we not the benefit. We not make all the Christ say, oh, Sierra Leone country, we don't know what's happening. We country just to get this disaster. We country just to go behind. We not they get. I mean, other countries they already advanced, but we not they advance. Now because we don't have God in our midst. If we get God close to we, it direct we for do different things. Then it direct we leaders them. It make them take the right actions. We say when as citizens there, it go directly for do the right things, and we country go before that way. This is just the plain truth. So what we don't see say this thing is not happening naturally. So therefore we feel say at least even if not for 5 years, let us get a particular ministry when a ministry where just they bought religion as Sierra Leone. When the NPRC government of the military, when they take over governance in Sierra Leone in 1992, one of the things that we will not ever do in Sierra Leone, when they introduce and they enforce, man, nobody tell nobody will be the one. That are the Saturday cleaning. Every last Saturday of every month, we they clean the whole salon. And then they make sure say the soldier man they come down on the street and they check now all the neighborhoods and for make sure say whether they sit down, whether they not do clean the yard they eat, whether they not agree for clean, and you will find out say when they do them, the whole Sierra Leone they become sparkling clean every Saturday, every last Saturday in every month. All right, that was very effective. Now we can have a ministry of religion to enforce religious practices in the country. We can have those who are Christians to ensure that they go to church to pray. And when somebody is going to the house of God, even if they do it by hypocrisy, as long as you are led by a pastor or a reverend, trust me, when all or 90% of the people that inside the house of God will not go pray for good things. And if we not pray for good things will happen. Right? So if on Friday, the one day where they work on are Muslims, they say you work half day. By 12 o'clock you don't off. Go to mosque, let you go pray Juma. You say when you go pray that Juma day, whether you do them with your heart or not, but once you are being led by Imam, definitely we all go able for pray for good things for the country. Let us do that one day for 5 years. Let us do that one day for 5 years consistently, and let us see how the country go. And then let us criminalize anybody where they do juju work. Say this, that, let us make a criminal act for us to find you, to catch you doing that. Because then when they do the incident, they not to God and they serve. They are serving Satan. And once you are serving Satan, now satanic stuff then they happen. So we for enforce for say it is a criminal act for any Sierra Leonean to engage in juju business, in voodoo business, in witch gun business, it's a criminal act. Instead of giving a license, we make it a criminal act. That is why the president need for revoke all the license that we don't give them. This is just the truth. And I don't know why anybody will frown at this. This is just the truth. Right? So now make what we talk to this say, let's get a ministry of religion. We are not saying let enforce religion by anybody. No. We already know say the country is both made up of both Christians and Muslims, and 10% with indigenous beliefs. That's fine. It is their religious right. You can belong to anything, but as long as you know say there is a supreme being. There is a supreme being somewhere. Somebody they way higher past with Papa de Mama de supreme being. Once you believe in that, right? I am sorry for the noise, but that will be me. So let us stick around to continue for bring you the program.
To Sierra Leone, last week mudslide killed 499 people.
Yes, me family will not sorry. We'll get for Kanto that lady there first. But what you want for say is, you know, people that talk say, oh, this thing will not happen at Salon, let will not make her into politics, let will not blame nobody, let will not do this. Of course, this is true. And you see, this is where we fail as a country. Because we are so hypocritical and we shy away from the truth. You know, I don't see any reason why anybody for shy away from the truth. We should be facing the truth. Because only the truth now go save we. And you for no say, once you mama will born you, you daddy will born you, the Otuna Sierra Leone they come on and a salon they born you. You have equal right in that country than if up to just the same right where the president gets and all the ministers and parliamentarians is the same right that you have. So let anybody not ever make you look down on yourself. What we did is to elect them to go and serve us. If they are not doing that work, we have the right to tell them the truth, and that is what we are telling them now. Because you see, if you did at the diaspora, you're not in a salon, but you did at the diaspora, I know say every now and then you are remitting money to Sierra Leone. You the same money in a salon, either not to you fumble them, or not to you friend them, or you get business investment, you they do something, who say you money where they work for, not the first word, you they labor for, you they send another country. Now, let's look at how that money they operate in the country. This is another reason why you for feel say you are very important in Sierra Leone, even though you didn't at the diaspora. Because this is what some politicians try to take away from Sierra Leoneans that were resident in the diaspora. Now, when you check countries like Ghana, all man from Ghana, they try to go back in the country because then politicians, they don't create the enabling environment. They don't create the platform, the atmosphere for their citizens to go back. Because when you go back, you know, you don't idle. There is work for you to do. There is business for you to transact. All of that. Now, if you don't at the diaspora, you're in Sierra Leone, where you the same money in a salon. Let us say, for instance, you don't send $500 to your mama for food. Your mama, they take that money, they go to market, they buy fish, they buy oil, they buy pepper, they buy rice, they buy Maggi. All them one way they sell, they market the day. Then they benefit from that money when you don't send. So that when they save get that money, they go take that money, they multiply and back, they go buy other things there. So the money they go into circulation. That you want that money we don't send for your man, they go into circulation now. So imagine how many of Sierra Leoneans and they in the diaspora, thousands, and they all the same money in the country. So the money what would they send at the country, they do a lot for stimulate the economy of the country. So if imagine if we not the same money in that country, if salon people that are abroad, they not the same money in Sierra Leone to them families and friends. Imagine how Sierra Leone go there. So let nobody not dismiss how important you are, Now that make, in fact, some of us, they push for the idea of Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora to start participating in the electoral process in the country. Let them register for vote and make them vote, because most of us, we don't live now advanced democracies. We know who are good leaders, who are bad leaders, and we'll be able to help the country for put good people into good positions. So let nobody know make you begin for physics say you're not important. You are very important. And the one they say they're in position of leadership, if they mean well for Sierra Leone, now even Sierra Leoneans the way they in the diaspora, where now they don't cause the brain drain. Plenty of Sierra Leoneans the way they are abroad, now the most clever, smart, intelligent people, then they don't come out of the country, go abroad. And when they go abroad, they don't learn and acquire skills, knowledge, where they go able for bring come back and push the country forward. Now the politicians then they feel threatened by these people when they go back. They don't know say now sacrifice Sierra Leoneans the way they diaspora, now sacrifice and they sacrifice for go back and contribute to the country. Even if na kaka somebody did to win abroad, when go back na salon, that person they pan sacrifice. So it is always good for us in Sierra Leone, the leadership, for level able for realize this, accept this, and all of this they only happen because of where we put the country first. Because you see, Sierra Leone, once one election don't pass, the other election they come. Between that 5 years, we not a focus on developing the country. We they focus on internal politics. How we go play kalo, how for rogue that other person, how for do the. We forget about developing the country. So this is our problem, and we have to start paying attention to these things. You know? So me family them. Not to we no more they talk about all these problems in Sierra Leone. No. Plenty other people that you talk about all over the world. So when we they talk about time, in fact, now we you right for talk about time, pass the one that we talk about in other places. Let's just check this one out.
Moving on to Sierra Leone, last week mudslide killed 499 people, and then on top of that they said 600 people were missing. So I mean, if they've been missing for a week, that means at least 1,000 people were killed. It had been raining heavily for 2 weeks, and they've already had 104 centimeters in the morning. A lot of people were still sleeping. In this picture that you are seeing, there were houses before the mud covered the whole place. So a lot of people were literally buried alive when this thing happened. The mudslide, coupled with heavy floods, sent a rush of water, mud, and rocks down the valley, destroying homes, schools, all kinds of buildings. People's bodies were torn up by rocks. I mean, I cried when I saw some of the videos and some of the pictures.
When I see the white oats stay again, the white oats don't go. The bones them all just don't kind of run. Wow!
It's so sad, right? This is another video of people shouting that death has come and they felt trapped.
The old son broke. Wait!
Yeah, and I literally cried. I don't understand why we don't pay enough attention to climate change as well as deforestation. Please, when you have time, watch my episode on deforestation in Nigeria, because this is not peculiar to Sierra Leone or one country. We all need to pay attention to deforestation because it's real and it's claiming lives, as well as climate change. Already a lot of settlements in Sierra Leone are reportedly at sea level or below sea level, yet we keep cutting down trees. The government of Sierra Leone has also done nothing to tackle illegal construction of the overcrowded hillsides and also the uprooting of trees for construction, which is what has made the soil unstable and vulnerable to collapse. But this tragedy wouldn't have claimed as many lives if only Sierra Leone has the right structures in place. I keep asking myself, what happened to all the money that was donated during the Ebola outbreak? I know that about $3 billion was donated not just to Sierra Leone, it's like to so many countries, but just wonder what happened to the money. And you know, that money should have at least built good hospitals, so that at a time like this, not that many people would have died. Coupled with that, the country still has poor infrastructure and poor drainage system. I'm not saying that they should have used the Ebola money to develop the country, but the government should have developed the country, especially the drainage system and the infrastructure. I heard that the emergency response team with their ambulances and stretchers did not get to the community until the afternoon. Remember that this thing happened at 5:45 in the morning, and they didn't have enough stretchers, they didn't have enough medications. Not only that, the heavy machines that were supposed to dig the mud so that people could be rescued did not arrive until the following day. And I'm telling you, within 2 days, the place was already stinking of decomposing flesh. It's so sad. They now face the risk of diseases like cholera outbreak, typhoid, and waterborne diseases. We need to make our leaders accountable and stop them from spending money or embezzling money that could literally save lives. Even now, people are donating money for this tragedy that recently happened in Sierra Leone. I doubt if the money will be used for the right things. Lastly, we cannot ignore climate change, and we cannot ignore deforestation. It's real and it's deadly. Like I said, please watch my episode on deforestation, because you can do something in your own area. You can plant trees where you are. You can help yourself at least. For all who have their loved ones, by the way, please accept our condolences. I heard that one man lost 12 family members. I can't imagine what's going through his mind right now. It's so heartbreaking. You guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Sierra Leone, last week mudslide killed 499 people, and then on top of that, they said 600 people were missing.
Right, and so me family them, you know, this now with Sister Adiola, you know, in Nigeria, of course, when I all the follow them, they do a lot of these things. So I mean, not to in one more they talk about this, and not to we no more they talk about this. You know, plenty of people that all over the world they talk about this. So now that make we talk last week for say, you know, it is a good thing when stuff like this don't happen. Your neighbors then can then give you money, then solidarize with you, then sympathize with you. But you say for the beginning, think, because when they don't give you that money, they all then donations, then what they don't give, right? When they go back, then they begin to contemplate, begin to think, begin to talk about waiting to be the preparedness, waiting at the preparation where this government be get for stuff like this. You know, just because, you know, don't one day happen at Sierra Leone. I mean, it don't happen way back in the 40s, but because it don't take this long, it not even happen here. So now that make we not for pay attention for prepare emergency response to this kind of situation. In fact, now the more reason why we don't even get emergency situation, because of how long it don't take where this disaster happen. So a lot of people are talking about this, and this is very shameful for our country. So this boils down to the fact that we need to have a capacity building at the country, not to alter where some people hope you and then we go and big, we go and big other people that for me they can't give, if they not give, then we're not able to do stuff for we safe. I mean, can you imagine if then people that not be car with then donations, then they give we'll not be for able for do fuck all in that place. We'll not be for able for do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So even like the one that way we don't go, but where then we go do the voter registration. Up to today, they say they not pay some of the aids. Can you imagine? So now make we always stay open with hand for big. We cannot embark on capacity development. You know, human capacity building. We build with your capacity so that when something like this for the we get with your way they apply. If somebody can help you now, no problem. But if they not help us, they will able to take care of yourself. So this is a problem. And for the one that all we want for be leaders in the country after the March 7, 2018 elections, these are the ways you should be thinking. Right? That this one for the think about. And you know, last week we talked also about the fact, say, between the two domineering political parties in the country, a lot of sentiment and frustration they go on among Sierra Leoneans. For say, let's get rid of these two political parties then. Let's get new political parties then for kind side. And then they talk, say, for 56 years, then two political parties, they don't do nothing. Now, again, I am repeating here today, again, for say, I do not believe in what they are saying. And I don't agree with them people then, because by the two political parties then they do two opposite things then. From 1961 to 2017, are two opposite things the APC and the SLPP, they always do. Anytime where APC take power in Sierra Leone, will they go through a whole lot of problems. Anytime where SLPP take power in Sierra Leone, now problems that it is solved. So how can people compare these two, you know, political parties as being the same? No, they are not the same. They are not the same. Then you when a new political party where you don't form yourself, you don't kind of, you want for let take power give you. We do not even know what your own experience is. Even with family where in a village, where they want pull them, they would for go dance. The person where they knock that drum, they look for the most experienced one for like can knock, because now in they able for knock the drum in a way where the devil go able for dance and they all go able to enjoy. Then I just go take and get anybody for knock the drum. No. So every level of employment requires some form of experience. You get for show something where tangible, where go make you believe say if we take this country you get the capacity for able for lead them in the right way. Not just can give you rosy talks them, you know, talk fine one and all then they will take country give back, they will get lucky more back. We have to be sure that you have the requisite experience for you to be able to lead us. Right? So that's now a whole different topic we'll get for discussing our Sheriff's Broadcast Network now. So me family they wanna stick around.
Now a national tragedy. Some of we affected directly, and some of we all as a nation affected because this is a national loss. I go on for more observe a moment and pray for the one day we don't go away, we will not get to see again. So I go pray for silence, for maybe get a small prayer for them. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. I want to start by saying thank you to everybody. We don't come to the aid of we people them. We don't get this big loss directly like this community we didn't have today. I want to say thank you to all the NGOs them, the government, the ONS represented here, and every person, because we see say from where this happened, plenty organizations then around the world, governments around the world, don't they give something for make we keep una in good spirit. For everybody, all international agencies, I want to say thank you for make where they can now una aid at this point in time. I want to say hush to the community, and I want to make una take this as people that will get faith. Of course, at times like this, a lot of talk go there about what we don't do or what we will not do. Waiting I want for make we do at this point in time, now for pray for the one day where God don't take their life, and also console the one day we don't live, and the lily and Nazi we self don't gather, now for help at this time of need, because people then waiting and don't fight for their whole life don't go in just minutes, and they not go ever. Some man not go ever able to build again. Of course, the family that we don't go, pastor will all die before we meet again. So this now make we call it a national tragedy. In a very short time, we lose so many people. We not go even know how to start for grief for the one that we don't lost people there. Because whole families then just disappear, or some part of the family disappear. We not get, we there in the opposition, but we want to tell una say, we dey feel una pain, because we serve a part of the community, and we serve some of young people that don't die. We not part of the pain we una dey feel, and we not go cap Kanaya with empty hands. Now a national tragedy. Some of we affected directly.
All right, and so me from them. This now Mr. Julius Madabio, former head of state of Sierra Leone, and of course retired brigadier general in the Sierra Leone army. Of course, he go to the scene where the natural disaster happened, and he talked to them, and of course he give you kansanke. This is not the traditional way of doing it. He give you kansanke, and he talk fine. You know, he talk fine. This now a potential president of Sierra Leone. Of course, now one of the leading candidates in the Sierra Leone People's Party. Of course, some of we been kind of vexed Panam, but we don't now see say it don't grab, it don't begin to act in a whole different way, in a whole presidential way. So hopefully it will continue in that direction. Because you see, one thing we Sierra Leoneans they don't know is that when you are in opposition, you are part of the government. So even the one that were in government, starting from the president, coming down to all the APC people, and therefore no say SLPP as one of the main opposition parties in Sierra Leone is part of the government. And waiting the opposition for do, the opposition now for always stand for the rights of the people. Now for speak on behalf of the people. If the government they implement any policies in a country where not right, we go affect the people there. Now the opposition for grab and talk against them policies. Then they now make in fact some countries them then get what they call shadow government. Every ministry where the government get, every minister where the government get, the opposition they assign in young people them into then shadow ministries. So if like the Minister of Interior come out and talk anything or talk anything on policy matter where they affect the country, the opposition shadow Minister of Interior now they come out and counteract them, they talk against that, again reasons why that policy they're not good for the country. So the opposition is always part of the government. The opposition is always talking on behalf of the people. Now it is stand for the rights of the people. But we all don't see from 2012 to 2017 now we don't begin to see SLPP they put in acts together. We don't begin to see some of the leaders then they speak. Of course, we don't see kind of young killer instead they doing young. We don't know what's in faith right now, whether it is SLPP or a day coalition. But once you all know, they not don't surrender in party card yet to SLPP for saying not to member again. It still get the SLPP party card. But what they talk now is the opposition for always stand strong and talk against what in government they do. I don't know why, man. I don't know why we are so weak. The opposition for be so. 1962, SLPP win election against the APC. Now that's the way APC now be baby. They don't just form in 1960, so a win election. I mean SLPP win election against them. But what did they do? They formed themselves, Shaka Stevie organized a man and then formed themselves into a very formidable opposition. So 1967, when they come with a campaign, then beat SLPP. I mean, even though they draw, but they're able to convince the two people that they come on their side, and that make they be declare APC as the winner in that election. So the opposition always get for be strong, especially in African governments, especially Sierra Leonean government. If you then in opposition are not strong, then of course the people are doomed. So for right now, we just want to say a lot of thanks to retired Brigadier General Julius Madabio for we're able for stand up. We're able for stand up and talk true. And we go work and meet them people and they win at the survivors of this natural disaster and able Guineos Kasanke. We appreciate that. I mean, even if we don't see the presence of somebody weighing at the potential president of Sierra Leone come March 2018. Even if he not be in now, but at least he is one of the candidates. So that they send a message to Salon people then for say there is representation on our part. All right. So for so far since Saturday we don't pass. When I be August 26, 2017, how much now the money where the government don't receive so far as this tragedy is concerned is about $10,577,199. Now I don't come in from different areas them where people then they donate. Now that money then don't come in. And so let we just let the government know say we they keep track of this, because what team could they do this? We don't want for let we fall victim of the same situation will be happen during the Ebola time, I mean the Ebola crisis, where suddenly money can lose. $14 million of the money where people then sorry for we then send them at the country for able for manage the Ebola crisis. The money, $14 million of that money just disappear. We don't want that to happen in this case. Now I make this money not diamond money, nobody know for touch them, So for now, since Saturday, August 26, 2017, we approximately, this is not going to be the final total. This now approximately is about $10,577,199 US dollars. This is not just cash donations. This is not to the material and equipment the way they don't send in respect of this natural disaster, right? So President for Gasimbe is saying 500,000. President Alpha Conde 100,000. ECOWAS delegation 300,000. China 1 million. Mercury International, 35,000. No, 55. Is it? No, 35,000. We get NP, 53,000. Africell, 67,000. If I get it right, yes. And EU delegation, Dengi, 326,000. EcoBank, 200,000. United Kingdom gives 6,043,000. Of course, Fawaz Building Materials, Dengi, I think that is, what is that? That's 26,600. And of course, the United Arab Emirates, they give 150,000. The Senegalese government give 100,000. Bank of Sierra Leone, 13,300. The Zenith Bank, they give 20,000. About that. Then get the Vametco Mining Company, they give 100,000. The Chinese community, they give 13,300. The Tony Emo something is a Nigerian banker. He give how much he give? 500,000. Of course, staff and partners at Ministry of Agriculture, they give 10,000. The National Secretariat of the what is it? National Secretariat of APC, they give 33,333. All right, and give Arab Bank for Economic Development, then give 200,000. Sierra Leone Airport Authority via General Manager, then give $6,666. And of course, the Moroccan ambassador on behalf of the King of Morocco, 150,000, and the African Union then give 100,000. So the total money so far right now we don't come in now 10,577,199 US dollars. This is not just the approximate. This is not final. This is just approximately. This is what we are looking at. And so my family will keep track of this money, because it's so important that we not just want for the one that we handle the money. Then if we say, you know, we do not know what is going on. Actually, we know what is going on. So, you know, we just want for level family to know that. And of course, we want for me to stick around as we continue for bring you the program.
Papa God, that's all we ask.
All right, it's only fun with them. You know, we get for continuing for bring the program to you. Of course, if you just join with this Sheriff's Broadcast Network, we come to you live from studio number 2. I'm in studio number 8, based in Houston, Texas. And of course, we provide news, information, and education all over the world, wherever you are. So now we delight for make you go join we. And so next we get for move on to the corruption way day around the Hajj, the 2017 pilgrimage where Sierra Leoneans then for do to Sierra Leone. Before we make any comments, we ask that you listen to this, all right?
Yeah, Mr. Ma.
Yeah, Mr. Fo.
Minister.
Yeah, Mr. Fo.
Yeah, you're still up.
Hello?
Yeah, you're still up.
Me and George Taylor?
Yes.
If me and talk? Yes, me and talk, yes. Me and they talk every day. We've been there together just now.
Okay. No, one we mount, one we confusion, if I want withdraw, who want it.
Okay.
Yeah, not to Hajj account, that one. Not to Hajj account, they are that.
Okay.
Now, to be put that money for with them and then go for that free arrangement, not to intervene. Now, nobody know for touch and pass the Hajj committee.
Okay.
Then another account, they went at the Leon account. When I they with the ministry they operate. That other one, they don't get anything for do with Hajj.
Okay.
Yeah,
but we, as far as we concerned, we know about 2 accounts. $1 account and $1 Leo account. Now they people they put money. We are aware of 2 accounts, 2 only accounts. That is $1 account and $1 Leo account. And we, okay, no, now they say now, but if Taylor don't receive a withdrawal letter from Una withdrawing $3,000 for the committee members, and then committee members there, now me they coordinate them right now, and now me they coordinate them. So how in go cash a withdrawal like that? So I make he call me, he tell me, I tell him say no, my stop him.
Oh, now you tell him stop him.
Yeah, because I need for no. I need for no for.
Okay, let me have the come to you. I will tell you which I will not account actually, not to
Okay. No, explain to me because you know going to meet me now. I didn't with Minkailu Mansari. I go to Minkailu Mansari now. I go to Minkailu Mansari now. You know going to meet me. From there I go to Sylvia, Dr. Blyden.
But no, not to so. But wait for me. I know what I tell you.
I get a lot of things. I get deadline today for send this money na Saudi. That deadline they okay, no, well, wait for me. I get deadline for send money today na Saudi, and I don't talk with the both of the minister then for clarify that. I just come on Minister of Finance with that letter day.
That is it. But I will tell you the money they come up, but not today. You wait for me, not go to see. Wait for me. I tell you, you know my brother. Wait for me. Let's talk to you. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah,
wait for me.
I listen. Talk. I listen to you. Talk, I listen.
No, to talk face to face, not to the account.
Talk to me because I don't know what you talk about. Talk to me. I don't know what you talk to me because I don't know what you talk about.
I said not to the Hajj account, to be sincere. The account get name, it get number, it get account number. Not to the Hajj account. Seriously, to be sincere.
Well, but the letter they say they withdraw money for Hajj committee members.
Now Hajj coordination, it is not to members and things. Not talk to you. I think don't go to Mikaeli. Not to get for Komoyanda. They cannot talk to you.
Well, are they right now to Sylvia Blyden as well? Yes. You don't believe me? Me Campamio issue. I want get withdrawal today. Today is the deadline in Saudi. President knows they are there right now. President Kuma knows they are there. Right now. Are they with in fact, are they with Shekito Sef? Alaji Shekito. Sheka Kamara. You want to talk to Sheka Kamara? You want to talk to Shekito? Okay, Shekito, you want to talk. Okay, talk to him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, we get administrative arrangement at office. The minister don't know, but they don't know, but they can't explain what that the issue to now before ever you talk to him.
because waiting do you know so for send money today, and indeed we be need you now for make you come. President don't say this amount for go today, and we're not gonna know they don't send me to the minister, and as I talk to you to the minister with this show. Well, if you can now want you to the minister, we didn't have to the minister. Can now president don't give directive that this money for go today, let it not among this ag business. So we need you now. We there.
Not to the account that one.
Well, forget about the account. If you can now for facilitate the banking transaction, the legal banking transaction from where the president don't authorize. Please, if you can, please.
You don't put it.
Oh my goodness, it don't hang up the phone. You know, so my family, you see, now you go play all these games all the time, but time go carry God says go come up here you. I mean, the thing when me not understand, this that the people that we supposed for go perform pilgrimage for, you know, on they don't labor for money. One of the pillars of Islam is for you to perform pilgrimage to Mecca within the halal resources that you have. Now when we talk about halal, when they talk about money where you don't sweat pan, when you don't labor, now you don't give you this money, this na halal money, you don't get any, you don't mix by any kafir business. You don't sweat pan up. And you are supposed to pay this pilgrimage once in your lifetime. The people that don't sweat for this money, they don't can give. Then now time don't reach for me and go Hajj. This money don't turn. I mean, I cannot understand that. And in the first place, what is government even doing with Hajj money? Why government for interfere with this money business? This kind of business here for be run by an independent body. Where be say government for just make sure say everything is going fine, but they not for handle money, they not for handle the arrangement, they not for handle nothing. But they don't take this to give the Minister of Social Welfare, you know, Gender and Children's Affairs, whatever it is. Severe blighting way na Christian, I wanna they put before Hajj business. Then all the conversation will happen inside this phone conversation. It look like say that man inside APC that they afraid severe blighting like everything. Oh my God! When the man talks, say, "Are they to severe?" You see the changes by talking all. So why government interfere with people that Hajj money? Why government forget anything for do with Hajj money? Government for washing hand for them kind tier. These are the people who expect that when they don't reach now the Al-Kaaba, when they don't go now the Mount Arafat, they're able for pray for Sierra Leone. All this evil stuff when they happen at the country, let God able for free will from this evil stuff. These natural disasters, all this satanic stuff when they happen. But if the people that way they lead we, like I have been talking in the beginning, the people that way they lead we, if they are ungodly, if they are sinful, then they do things the way, then they continue for commit sin against their brothers and sisters, against humanity. This country not go ever come out under them kind catastrophe they want to go through. Not to swear this way, but this is the truth. So this phone conversation is just the truth we don't come out. The God don't expose them for let us see how corruption they go on as alone. Which other account we for go put? For let the man even name the account, it don't turn to problem. Oh, not to that account. Now the other account. Now Hajj coordination. Like, why are you even, you guys, why are you interfering into a Hajj business? This thing now every country now independent body, then private non-profit organizations that they handle stuff like this. Government not for nothing for do that. Government for just ensure say now they could get embassy in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That's when people that don't go Hajj, that the embassy is a responsibility on the part of the government of Sierra Leone through the embassy in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for able to make sure that Sierra Leoneans are well taken care of in that kingdom. If government you get for charge people that for let you take care of them in Saudi Arabia, no problem, let them pay. But you not for put hand by this Hajj money business. Why would they put hand? This na kalo to the core. So you see what they tell when I say APC anytime when they in power. Anytime when they in power, they do things that where they hold we back. When a kalo business, confusion, people they lost their life. This is what they do. This is what they are known for. I know say some man and they're not glad for what they talk, but this is the truth. This is the truth. From 1961 to 2017, anytime when APC they in power, na kalo business na they go on. That don't mean say other government and no do kalo, but their own, it is like a stamp where they don't stamp on them back. For see, this is what these guys do. And you know, don't get me wrong, not to all man they inside APC with kalo. They get clean people there. Like all the broadcast now, I get certain friends in the APC where I don't done that they call me, they say, Ibrahim, they say, me might talk true. They say this party no party, but we not clean power what they do. Then they tell me that. Right? So APC, man, this is very shameful. What they do is very shameful. So I don't know. But this is just something we cannot talk about. So we get for move on anyway. Let us see what the Anti-Corruption Commission, the ACC, don't do with this case so far. Because it look like I say, you know, they safe now, they don't shine the light on them. There is no way they're able to cover this one. You have to do something. If you're not Anti-Corruption Commission, you know, now you guys have to do something about this because it is now in the open. This is not high level. People in governance na Sierra Leone, they don't involve by this whole phone conversation. We don't do the public domain now. So now it is left with you, the ACC, for me to do something. So let's see what they try for do. Right? Stick around.
Education with some of them.
Are you sure say they will come at all?
Well, it is the hope that they will come.
So if they not come, what in the ACC will do?
Well, we go put out processes in place for make sure say we bring and come. Not forget, a matter we Mrs. Self prosecute Elizabeth King. Now somebody will be involved in an NRA fraud issue. We will be indicted, but we don't want to go to the Gambia. But we make sure that we use the processes that we deal within we purview for bring and come. And as I talk, they don't go through in trial, they don't sentence them, and they run in jail time. So the fact that people are out of the country no means that they're out of reach. Right. We get international protocols then.
So far, you don't get evidence them, you know, put all what you want together. The ACC, most people can interpret I'm saying, you know, not take action yet and all. Una can take action on una own, or una can go normally before a competent court of law for see who that right or who that wrong.
Well, as you see, when we investigate cases, we not just investigate, we get to come with a conclusion. If it be say in fact this particular investigation will not find evidence, we get the we will find the person wanting, we get for come out and say that if we get evidence against us, you see, we don't catch several people in a court, we don't prosecute several people, and we don't in that gain convictions on several of them cases they make. Just this year we don't take 9 cases in a court, we don't win 8. So obviously there is conclusion to some of them issues here and satisfactorily.
So far, you know, with regards to the Hajj issue, I don't get you know, any of the evidence then where maybe the public one for look at say Mr. AYZ. In fact, there is case against him so far. Like with the investigation to carry on.
As I tell you, we don't take at least 125 passports.
Sierra Leonean passports?
Sierra Leonean passports. We don't get computers, at least foreign numbers.
All right.
We don't get all the documents. We don't take foreign currency and some of the addresses the way we go. So ACC, they take action. All which they ask the public for is make them get confidence in the work they do and make them be a little patient with me, because investigations not to something way automatic. Now a process. Make they allow the process for go on.
Finally, before we left you, Mr. Commissioner, most times we don't see inside the ACC can get case with people, sometimes they go court. And you know, at the end of the day, most people when they say somebody in the ACC net, you know, they investigate and the police already that person guilty of, you know, the allegations we levy against them. So when I can go court and they find out say at the end of the day, either the people them they win case against the ACC. So it means to say most people they interpret and say ACC can only go court with people. At the end of the day, they're not a win case. What are some of them challenge them?
Well, first of all, I'm glad the way you talk about not to everybody where ACC come into contact with mean say that person is guilty, which is why I'm being very, very careful in naming people.
Okay.
Investigations are very much early days in this particular one, so we are very, very much careful. And
oh well, fumble that na the ACC commissioner at the Macaulay way military, but who side and they so far the latest development when it comes to the investigation where the ACC don't launch into this whole Hajj problem. Well, for Seka, all of what the ACC commissioner say, the investigation they carry on right now, but one of the key thing the way he say that the three people them way they highlight na them press release when them pull, I'm sure me and Yusuf within a salon go there them people them there say not so them are the only people them where the ACC they look at when it comes to investigation. The ACC don't go beyond that one day, don't get so many other people, don't knock on so many other doors, and the investigation still carry on.
Right, and so me family when I don't see exactly waiting what they talk about. So the ACC now na in get the light, na in get the responsibility for CC. They don't uncover the hidden truth that is behind this whole corruption, because this is corruption from above. Me waiting I not able to understand why government for interfere with Hajj money. Waiting make when a government for directly be responsible for setting up a coordination team for cargo people in Mecca. I feel say this for be handled by an independent body. Waiting make Muslims they not go form a non-governmental organization able for handle their own business. They only need government for protect them, both in Sierra Leone and in Saudi Arabia where they don't go. If government get for charge them for pay fees for that, let them do it. Even at places like America or any other advanced country, certain things and the way government they charge fees to citizens for you to pay for them to provide certain services to you, right? But we're not for able for handle with your own business. We're not for able for handle with our own. We get an imam they already preach to we. I mean, when I want to we say we not get honest imam that we go able for handle this Hajj business. For saying all man kalu na the country now. And we all know say we camp Islam business, especially paying pilgrimage to Mecca, performing Hajj. Now the one of the things that one day nobody not for joke with, no Muslim not for joke with, because now you they get swear be an incident. So you see, we say Sierra Leone can get swear. So like how we talk today for say somebody tell we say it says something all them things here where they happen at Sierra Leone. Now pay what they pay for the sins of our forefathers, things that we don't do to other people or to the country when now in what they pay for right now. Now it happen. Now, if in 2017 those in position of leadership that they still continue for do things the way it be say, so we great grandchildren are going to be paying for their own sins that they are committing today. So meaning that Sierra Leone get for continue for go through this problem. You see, this is how the problem is unending. The problem not the end. Oh my God, this is so sad. This is so sad. But anyway, we'll get for move forward. So we'll get for keep a track on the ACC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, and see how far they get for unravel this whole case. We want for say plenty thank you to the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation program winner, how they call them, the program they will get this whole clip from. So one for tell them plenty thank you for what they make available to we. Moving on, we then move on to the National Electoral Commission. The National Electoral Commission, until we all know, so they get one of the most important responsibilities then from now on to March 7, 2018. When then the fate, the future of Sierra Leone then at the end. Depending on how they handle the next presidential, parliamentary, and local council elections that Sierra Leone go either go forward or it go back. So according to the dynamic that we don't introduce a new program when this biometric voter registration, where they come with them for say go able for help them for be more effective and more efficient. Now what does that mean? For say this biometric voter machine is supposed to be error free. That this machine go help them for let them not make no mistake. So now make way then come with them When you go, then go fingerprint you, then take your picture, then take your demographic data, then put all inside machine. At the end of the day, they are supposed to display the list for let you go see if you name the inside it. So before the voter registration they take place, we've been talked to the chairman for the National Electoral Commission, when Mr. Mohammed Infa Ali Conte, we talked to her about this situation. For say, if it guarantee for say, all the eligible voters in the country, they go able for register they all. Listen to what he been say. And so the other concern also was during the voter registration time was that certain particular places, then the villages, then they not be there inside the voter register, wherein identify the people they embark, or some then they way outside the large population of people been there. Not today when I set up the centers, and so people that be the work miles and miles for me they just go register. So based on that one day, you feel say the National Electoral Commission able for register all eligible voters in the country?
Well, yes, I will say yes. We take the concerns and the problems with of course, about that not be doing inside with a day. But you got to decide for law option responsibility. That's a basic that get all the localities at the whole country. Actually, we get them from the Commission for the civil registration. Now, it's only but actually doing two work. But the five of so that's the ED on. That's the next thing I need to work on. That's the thing I need to work on now.
Okay.
In terms of this, yeah, well, we are going to talk to yes, a few senators and we will side the day and send them by side. Because what we can get, we do one thing, we get GIS system, geographic information system. But both the one the left concerns and moving, but all will try for value. But down to the all not to anything we will actually disrupt the electoral timeline. We will work on now the all nothing we will able for fix.
So but as far as
then
yes, go ahead.
In terms of the population, well, we will be able to register as I tell you 3.1 million with the excess of that 3.6 million by statistics Sierra Leone.
Okay. Right,
18 years and above. But you know, say, no all know say family not to compose the registration with the bill. We will open the centers, we invite people they can. So after the 3.6 will be the expect, we able for register 3.1, a little over 3.1 million people. So now something like 500,000 people have been not come. But we open all the centers. So I think so we register most people.
Right. And so the National Electoral Commission, where you the head, now an organ of government where supposed to be completely independent of politics. So you go able for assure we for say the work where you did where they do where now you the head for say a free of any type of political manipulations and encroachment. You go on for assure we viewers know of that.
Yes, we want to assure the general public and everybody for say, yes, National Electoral Commission by the Constitution independent. I will not be under any authority, will not be under any political manipulation. That I go on to assure people in Nandi. We already have the commission, both the commissioner, 5 commissioners and the secretariat who will get. I mean, a very large extent, very, very large extent, we're really independent. Right, really independent.
Okay.
You know, they will depend on government, of course, for giving money. You run all over the world.
Right.
Yeah. But for say, political manipulation, no.
So talking about logistics, you just talk about money. What you go tell me about how prepared is the National Electoral Commission when it comes to logistics, money, and all of that for able for conduct the next election?
Well, challenges and day, but I think government said they do a own best because what they do normally, they prepare a budget and then we give government. So government said they give you the budget. I mean, as and how we want and by strands because we're not going to say all the money for the election and they take them because the election say you know now by process now by stages. Right? We don't do the boundary limitation. Government we don't give you that money. The international partners themselves chipping small bit. Now we don't do the voter registration. If we don't do, government don't give the money for pay other people. Of course, a few other things and we need for do. But the commitment there on the part of government for now get the money.
Okay, that's good. And so the other concern also was during the voter registration time was that certain particular places, then the villages, then they way they not be there inside the voter register, wherein identify the people they embark or some then they way outside the large population of people been there. Not today when I set up the centers, and so people that be the work miles and miles for me they just go register. So based on that one day, you feel say the National Electoral Commission able for register all eligible voters in the country?
Well, yes, I will say yes. We take the concerns and the problems we've been there. Of course, like when you talk about certain towns and not been there inside with database. But this not the time for our apportion responsibility. That database is that the able get all the localities, towns, villages, and the whole country. Actually, we get them from the National Commission.
All right, and so me from them that na Mr. Mohammed Infa Ali Conte, the chairman for the National Electoral Commission Sierra Leone, of course, now in get this responsibility for ensure say the country able for all a free, fair, transparent, and credible elections in the country where all man go accept the result. And so they don't do the voter registration, and you don't hear what he talk for say in belief say and in feel say then go able for register all the eligible voters then at the country. And so whether we don't do the registration, the next thing we before do by requirements per constitution or the voting act of Sierra Leone, then for display the names of all the one that they don't register before they even go make the voter registration card then for them. So they don't display their names, and the people that don't go see them, and they don't find out say plenty people in the where the names they're not there per the register. In fact, now just one constituency in Freetown they get about 2,000 people there where their name not in the register at all, where they go register. So they don't begin to create a problem, and they don't spend a lot of money on this particular effort, and that the elections are very near. So waiting could be the next thing what they for do. But before that, let us see how Sierra Leoneans then they react to this whole situation, especially the one that will stand up for the rights of voters in the country. All right, stick around.
We for change, for exchange and for pull another. For instance, government and bring in another people them for make them serve the people them, and you not go do that if you not go through them procedures there where people will go and do their name check, from registration you get for go and verify whether the name where you give, the address where you give, or now you own face, they not give you face to another person, all them things then they get for go look at them. But waiting we can find out this latter part, it can't happen say people then they go now them places they have for go verify, then they see their names them. The names they're missing. The one that will be don't register. Where they don't register. Then they even go with them forms them where they give them because say they give them some
then sleep
them. For sure say yes, this person register. And when they go check the name they know they at all. Yes. So what we say do when we understand say for instance a newspaper, a local tablet bring out names. I mean places them where the names they know they at all, where the new names they're missing. Like for instance, if you think about the Moyamba and Bond district, like Mobimo, Moribatan, Kabati, other places, they happen for me, say them people there, they name them missing, and then get and sleep them. They name them not the system at all, and we they talk about a biometric, right? Because according to the registration, they say a biometric. So whosoever way you snap, at the end of the day, for able to see a name not the system. Alright. Right? So we commodity. We send we mend them across for make them self charts for we. And know whether them people they are the names then they be because we know I made them disfranchise anybody whosoever we don't go to map na line for money. We not SFC some of the orders the way people go through na this country for make them go register. And them people they are now only the time where they need the people and vote. Now the time then they go talk to them. And if they don't talk to them, say yes, go exercise your franchise. Then the person don't go, you don't do it for money, say even tell me don't register. They at the end of the day when you go back for go verify. You know able to see him, so he are trending. We even come all the back. We come now constituency for instance constituency 128 inside Freetown. The data number we're missing is about 2,798.
2,000
people.
Over 2,000
yes,
people.
Now constituency
we register.
128 no more. We register. They don't able to get their name them. So we start for us specific. The neck credible or the neck. I wait till then day after. Where then people they are not forced able to see their name. So now make we they call on neck. Please, who say their names they are don't go. Make them bring the people their name because the people then get for votes come 2018, right? People get for votes. So if it now we see say that even the time where they show where they do the exhibition, it's too short for the people then. People then come out abroad, people then pay them money them. Some man pay $2,000, some man pay $1,000, some man pay $1,000, some $100 for can register. How them people they go come now this exhibition at this time? So that's why we they ask on neck for me they extend the time. Make people go and verify the names there. And the names the way don't missing, the data the way missing. Make them tell you how far then data they go, so that then we will capture the 2018 election, because we don't want to see something tomorrow when somebody go vote, because then they don't get for able patient like how they're supposed for patient now. If you then go the part and begin to on the page, waiting at your name, me now more easy than turn the page, they're not seeing it, they say no, we not see him come on here. And if you resist, then go call police for you, say you can't disturb them. So now I make with the call on them now, make them try for rectify the thing there. We be done they talk this, you know, from the one where people start for registering at this country, we see so many problems, so many missing links when we go on. Now people they go verify their names them again, then the names they not there, now they register with them people they are.
So Hindolo, is it possible for me then do waiting you call biometric registration, then somebody come later for check for a name and not come at all?
Well, now I make we be the tell neck. If a neck not able to handle the leadership of neck, if they're not able to handle the registration process or neither even the come 2018 election, may then come out and tell the people of this country. But if you don't tell people, they say we will handle up to now. If now a biometric data we supposed to forget, now we for don't see say yes. People get forget a biometric ID card in this country. But you know, all time politicians they stupid be. Then they stupid the electorate then at this country. When they come, they will tell you all type of things. Say we not don't register, we go get this. Then at the end of the day, the people they go out back and team up na sand forget them then job where they supposed to forget. Then the names they not able to capture na the data. So now I make with the call on neck or whosoever when at the head of neck, make them go back na the drawing board and see say they capture them people then the people that were missing now in that system, because we be don't tell them earlier say if we now say we not able to go with this, now we use we pass ID cards them, right? Because I'm not saying that that's we get for enter. Then we get for begin tell people then say you pass ID card we get use them for count votes, where if we say government don't spend huge amount of money for make we able to get this biometric. And the 5 years back they've been tell we say 10 years back, then we tell we say the ID card where we take, now we get for use throughout. And now it don't happen for me say that ID card where they be given, not only you get with the use. So if they don't give the people the confidence say, when I go register back, we go give una biometric ID cards them. Then now the people the ID the names they don't begin missing at the data system, it wrong. Alright. So make unfairly go out now and talk to your man them. And see, say, make them capture them people they are in data, they wherever where them data they are, them people they are, they name them go. They don't need for jump on. You don't need for jump on. If the data don't jump, then make them self know say their offices them for jump them. Then for come on at the offices them because they're not credible. It means they're not able to take care of waiting they're supposed to do, because they don't tell the people of this country say next na a credible office, they were able to give you a good registration process, they were able to give you a good election, and now we don't begin get missing data. All right, continue for stay with you on the program. We want to get 1 or 2 views, then we'll respond. Hello.
Right, and so me fun with them, you know, this now SLBC again. We want to tell them plenty. Thank you for bringing Hindolo to we. Of course, Hindolo will get for talk to him live on Sheriff's broadcast network for like tell we waiting to go on. But this is not just a signal where they send to Sierra Leone electorate for Leona no say the election will say when they go make decisions on who is going to be the next president of the country, who are going to be the next parliamentarians, and the local council people. Them now ain't don't begin to go into shambles right now. You know, the voter register and not get names of people that maybe don't go register. So, but thank God, they still get more time for me to correct all these anomalies. But this now be the listing way anybody be they expect, especially after we don't talk to Mr. Infa Ali Conte, where he don't give you the confidence for saying nothing no get for wrong, go wrong. So matter of fact, we'll get for try for Brian come back on board for like talk to we on waiting go wrong and how they get for remedy that situation. He is always ready to talk to us, and we get confidence in him as well. The only thing he has to answer these questions where people in the ask, right? And so we found with them, we come towards the end of this broadcast today, of course, but before we end, we just want to bring you a very good example of a very good government in Africa. We are talking about the decision where the president of Tanzania don't take against the civil service workers. People that will be working at the civil service in Tanzania, they be work on fake certificates, you know, credentials, what they use for sure say they are qualified to be in those positions, and they pay them, you know, based on their qualifications. So now, when the president come, it don't uncover all of that. It don't find out say all of this now lie, because it set up a task force for me to investigate all the man who they working at the civil service and see what they can do to bring the truth out. So now we get for can see that right now, and after that we'll go close down, right? So stick around.
Now, Tanzanian President John Magufuli has sacked nearly 10,000 civil servants for holding fake education certificates. The officers also face prosecution. If found guilty, they could face up to 7 years in jail. Our reporter Sami Awami is in Dar es Salaam. He joins us now. Sami, first of all, how did they find out these certificates were fake?
Well, there are several ways, Peter, how they found out about this. But two of the ways, the Minister for Education said the task force, which was assigned to investigate in this issue, went out in the to the National Council of Examination, and they did not find the records of secondary school qualification for these officials. But also the task force found that some of these officers who are alleged to be using fake certificates were using certificates of their friends and their family members. So that's how they found out about this.
And how has this development been received in Tanzania? Because 10,000 civil servants, that's a huge number. That's potentially at least 10,000 families affected.
That's right. Definitely, it's going to be sad for the families of the affected officers. But a couple of hours ago, I went to the streets here in Dar es Salaam, and I asked people what did they think about this move. And to be honest, all of those people I spoke to supported this move by the president to sack these ministers. They told me the public service needs officers who are competent, and so if people do not have certificates, then maybe that's why we are seeing some of these problems that we're facing in the public sector, in the many social services. And so they supported the move by the president to remove all these people who are not qualified to do the job that the people want them to do.
And we've just said that these people could be prosecuted. Are there any court charges being brought against them as of now?
Well, the president said he has given these people, the officers who have been sacked, up to 15th of May to leave their offices voluntarily. And for those who will not leave the office up to that time, then the president has ordered, for them to be arrested and then be prosecuted. And so if that will happen, these people are facing a jail term of up to 7 years. But of course, the president, as I said, has given them this grace period for them to leave the office voluntarily, and then they will not be prosecuted.
Sami, I'm pretty sure all your credentials are in order. Sami Awami there live from Dar es Salaam. Now, Tanzanian President John Magufuli.
As hopefully Samuel, you said several reports. We hope say your credentials stay in place for let the president not go fire you. But anyway, I joke no more. BBC the joke with time. One for say plenty. Thank you to BBC for making it happen. But you don't see waiting the president of Tanzania. He's a no nonsense man. This man mean well for his country. Now the man this way I see candle inside in presidential motorcade. He go down to the man we sit on the side of the street where they beg. He go talk to him and get money, right? This is the kind of man who did that. And from when that man, they don't take power in another country, they don't do plenty thing then. When are good things. Now, when somebody gets in country at heart, when somebody like in country, when a patriot, we want to do well for in country, these are some of the things you see them doing. You know, now then can't see how they see we leaders then go do. But in Sierra Leone, we just they go elect people then. You know, when are the electorates then, when I don't register for votes. Now when I get this talk here, because everything they do in that country, they do on sentiment. Just now when March 7 go come 2018, when I go vote for people then on sentiment. If we not vote for a good leader, somebody who feel like the president of Tanzania, where they do things then for make this country go before, we get for country. Yes, and so before them, you can go and donate to we now. If you like what they do you go donate to we? You know, you can hit that donate button on our website, sbnetworks.net, and of course from there you go able for donate to we live. All right. So once more, this is Sherrick's Broadcast Network, and we're happy to come to you live. Thank you very much.
Come and save this country.
times. People them a die. Natural disaster, yeah. See the tears in my eyes. These is a serious times. People them a die. Natural disaster. Tears in the eyes. It's kind of matter now, so serious. Brothers and sisters, don't leave us. Allah, but Allah, God save us. Yeah, vanity, yeah. For people where they act like for say there's no tomorrow. Can't you see, yeah? Make we take heart and walk towards tomorrow.
This not the last days, like then just to go faster. With us with me eyes, make her shake me like a rasta. Papa God, not possible from this disaster. Beat trouble na country, keep pulling down like a rata. Let we pray for the one that we don't die and go. Do ya Papa God, we beg you for make you help guide their soul. One by one, now so we all get for die and go. This one, this my sympathy for the one that we don't die and go.
Oh yeah, Kanuyani, Masalayani. Oh yeah, Kanuyani, come and save this country. Masibo, Masibo, Kini, 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 oh yeah, Funkunani.
So these are some serious times. People them a die. Natural disaster, yeah. See the tears in my eyes. These is a serious times. People them a die. Natural disaster. Tears in the eyes.
This is naturally, this is not too magical. Life and vanity is so frustrational. Sorrow of the tears I weep, pains of the tears I weep. They give me so much pressure. Whenever I see our land of treasure, they crumble and struggle and people they die. Picking they cry, mama and papa and picking they die. You lost a loved one, I do ya take heart. Papa baby do ya come save me. So far as they kill me, nah. We dey under pressure. Cause every day we live a life we don't know. If we got for wake now morning up we don't know. Nobody could believe this thing would be so. With so many people die. I living it for good. All the tears them up the years. I living it for me along the hillside.
These are some serious times. People them a die. Natural disaster, yeah. See the tears in my eyes. These is a serious times. People them a die. Natural disaster. Tears in the eyes.
For the rich man, happiness, big and sad. So you see them things, the people when the things gone bad. Know the children that we gone, who the people them had. So it never gone bad. So you see the money, not feeling the stories been told. Watching the young people, them bodies living cold. Happiness leaving out, and nothing's been told. We really don't sing.
Boy, I'm on to the me. Men kan no korot boporan for my feet. Hunt off us water to bandu botok bati. Ma sompa ma bati. For my menu, Mario, Mastula nu. Kama kurama saba nunkasu. Kuru cars. Kuru mamu nunkasu.
Landslide, many die, plenty people they cry. This no warning for them, how many pills in them they high. So some they no even see part pan them body. They so the kind of dead body them we I see. Oh, humanity dunya full life no guarantee. So waiting at the benefits we die go left for party. All God with one, pitch God they want to human. To all them one we don't die, rest in peace we pay for una.
cutting down on things like Kulala. For Bin Laden slum and the water side on Anambra. Let we up your eye, take with time now for the number. Let we wait to eye, before brother and sister, the boy don't die.
Boku don't go, if you the young, we be one go. It painful, it's sorrowful, but let we take us over. Mama, papa picking them, uncle, auntie picking them. Let we always act and pray to God so he go be with them. What are they run me? They can make me at the bitter when I see people they die. Papa God, sorry for we look salon they cry. We don't go to Boku agony, Uda go back to die.
Hey Papa government, do ya we they beg you? Plenty die where they happen, now we country try for save we now. After God, now government, so now ask me out. All them people are then slum, relocate them. Then where they belong that they breathe, relocate them. They want their way, no, educate them. Do educate them, yeah.